Hi, everyone. I'm Tricia Carr, and this is the Magic Hour. Sorry, I did the little video thing. I almost did it a second time. Welcome to the Lightworkers Lab. We are live streaming right into the Lightworkers Lab. It's been a while since I've done one of these on my own. Crystalline Compton, the founder of the Lightworkers Lab, of course, has been, we've been doing together our Lightshine broadcast. Pardon me while I put on the comments. And so I'm really excited to come together with you guys and do Magic Hour again. So if we haven't met yet, I am Tricia Carr. I am a spiritual teacher, empathic channel, multidimensional medium, and I'm partners with Crystal. We have the Lightshine Academy. We do the intuitive intensive every year, plus a lot of other programs. I hope you guys can hear me really well. I'm new. This is a brand new streaming platform. Let me hold on. I am a spiritual teacher. Yep. Shush, shush, shush. Quiet her down. So the Lightworkers Lab is a spiritual community. It's hosted on Facebook, founded by my dear Crystalline Compton. And it is just an amazing place for your spiritual seeking, resources, and all kinds of live streams just like this. People up every day, many times a day. And we're going to be doing some readings here in a moment. I'll be taking them right off the feed. You can, I'll tell you when. You don't put them up yet, but I will take them right off the feed. So if you're watching on Facebook, and now you may be watching in the Lightworkers Lab, and if you haven't joined the Lightworkers Lab, I need to join the Lightworkers Lab. People here on the feed will be telling you about it. And you can do that by just going to facebook.com/group/Lightworkers Lab. And there should be a link up in the description or down in the description, however you're looking at it. And, you may be watching this on another Facebook profile. And if you are, I encourage you to click the link that is in the description. That it's a StreamYard link. It's a StreamYard/Facebook or something like that, .com/Facebook. It's right up there. And this will give me access, just verify that StreamYard can show your name to me so that I can see you on the feed if you're asking for a reading or making a comment. Now, I'm also live streaming to YouTube. So hello to my YouTubers. Thank you so much for being here with me. I can see your names already. And so this is a first time in a long time that I've done a live stream. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys. So I also have a podcast, in case you didn't know. It's called Charmed Life. It's on YouTube and any way that you get your podcast. So let's see who's here. We have Amanda. Hi, Amanda and Amy. Amanda and Amy were both recently on my podcast. So fun. Hey, Crystal. Hello. There she is. Hi, Tosh. Hey, Jason. So I'm going to see you tomorrow night, Tosh. Hopefully. I know you're in a different time zone for my class, my workshop. And okay, well, again, any Facebook users, if you want to go ahead and click through so I could see your name, especially in a moment when we start to do some readings. But before we get to that, let me just have a little bit of a chat with you about the empathic nature or the sensitive nature. So what's the difference there? I mean, there's some people think of being an empath or a highly sensitive person as just a sliding scale, like HSP, highly sensitive person, is maybe a lower input, and the empath is like higher on the scale. And maybe that's true, but I really just think of them as functions. They're energy functions, the way that the energy runs, the way that you are taking in information. And I think that anyone at any time could be displaying either the highly sensitive person function or the empath function. And then maybe other people emphasize one more than the other. And maybe some people are pretty balanced and they don't necessarily use those tools in that way. These are just tools. So if you're not highly empathic, or if you're not a highly sensitive person, HSP, this doesn't mean that you are, not cool or awake or whatever. It's, again, they're just tools. Intuitive people may also mean people that are using their intuition very, very consciously and very skillfully. They may use their HSP, they may use empath tools, or they may not. They may kind of be relying on something that's more balanced in how they're taking in information and using their intuitive and psychic abilities. So, but let me just talk a little bit about each of those and talk about their higher purpose or their high frequency purpose. So I guess I'm an empath, I mean, it's like that was the thing that cracked open my whole journey, my spiritual awakening, was understanding this empath tool. But at the time, the reason it was important for me to understand it was because it wasn't being really utilized as a tool. I was using it in a way that it was running in an automated sense without my conscious awareness, and it was creating harm. This is what I think people think being an empath is, or at least a lot of people who are aware of this term, is that an empath feels people's emotions and even their thoughts as though they are their own, like they are natively generated within your own energy, and you can't do anything about it. We differ on that second part. We very much differ. Why? Because we are sovereign spiritual beings. We have absolute free will. That is a universal law of free will. So that means that I can use the tool of being an empath either differently or not at all, or I could turn it off. I can close my energy down. Now, it's probably not easy to just walk around with your energy closed down if you have been having it run as an empath for your whole life, but you can ascend it. You can evolve it. So empath, this is a function where a person is experiencing directly, as though it is native to you, other energies that were not generated from within. But the thing is that when we identify to it, when we're doing that sponging thing, and we are continuing to match that frequency so that we identify to it, then it's become ours. And it doesn't really matter that it came from the outside. So it doesn't matter, who it came from or where it came from, because you chose, even if it's unconsciously, to make it your own. And so if it's for example, your friend is going through a breakup and you sponge that in, you may not be having anything wrong with your relationship, or you may have no relationship at all, but you can bring on that sadness and anxiety or whatever, the symptoms may be of that particular breakup, and you can just adapt it to yourself. And so the thing is, this should be good news, is that your sensitivity is not meant to create pain, anxiety, depression, and it's not meant to bring you down. There is a higher function for sensitivity, whether it's the empath sensitivity or the highly sensitive person sensitivity. So that's the empath function, identifying or feeling an energy, whether it's a thought or an emotion, as if it's your own. And I'll talk about how we can do that in the right way. The highly sensitive person is sort of in the energy and reading it, is aware that it's not their own probably, but is responding to it. So is being a counterpart to it. It's sort of like being in the pool rather than drinking the water. That's if that metaphor makes any sense, the empath would be the drinking the water, and the HSP would be in the pool, and so in the atmosphere of it and responding to it. And that's kind of the distinction that I see in these tools. Again, they can be utilized. So for the HSP, it's like an awareness zone. It's like your psychic awareness zone, and having it open all the time and being and having it's sensitized. And so you can see how this can be good or bad, because if you're constantly highly sensitized to your environment, then you will be responding all the time, and there won't be any place for you, and there won't be any place for higher functioning. But again, these tools are given to you or are a part of your energy to be tools, indeed to be helpful. So let me just break it down a little bit. To be a high frequency empath, the empath will experience the energy, the thought or emotion is really the energy that we're talking about. And I have a Kankan in my lap. I'll have to show you him in a minute. It's my kitty cat. They will experience it. It will come into, and you will understand, you will feel it natively inside your energy. But essentially, we decide to not give a complete match to it. And we prefer to hold, what I say is hold the light. And honestly, the empath can do this with their own native emotions too. That we choose to match and identify to the light, to the love, to the hope, to the wellness even though we also have this other awareness, this other energy with us. And this is just, I mean, this is key. If you're empathic and you can identify to any frequency, any energy, then hear this. The reason you came in with that tool, with that ability, is so that you could identify at any time and at all times to the highest possible frequency, to love or to light, to source energy, to creator. So you see, you have thing one is you have the universal law of free will defines that we have absolute free will. We may call this sovereignty. Number two, you are a powerful feeler, and you came in with this powerful feeling tool so that you could easily feel the thing which is most easy to feel, the highest vibrational frequency of the universe, the natural frequency, love, God, creator. So if we can hold that frequency, and then as something comes into our awareness, whether it's from without or from within, yet we are able to continue to maintain our identity to the light, then what happens is this great capacity for hope and grace will take over, and then the empathic nature actually transmutes that energy, again, whether it's for yourself or for another. Now, this may take some consciousness training, some fitness, some energetic fitness training, just like training your body to be stronger and more fit. You may need to, I mean, we all do. Let's just say that we all need to continue to work on our consciousness, our energetic fitness. And so this is with your practice, your meditation daily. Consistency is much more important than length, I think. But the reason is for an empath, that's so important because the empath, when the tool has been used the wrong way, which is to match all frequencies and seemingly, especially the lower ones, because it's the intention to heal, but the execution is off. Matching a frequency does not heal it. Holding and matching the light while being in the awareness of it, that does allow it to transmute and heal. And so an empath is like a walking prayer. That's the intention. Prayers work. Prayer is the energy of hope, the energy of conducting healing energies. So the empath is meant to be identified to that prayerful frequency so that then the concerns, the issues come through that, and they are washed in that frequency and sent, whether the other person knows it or not. It doesn't matter. Prayer works anyway. And the reason it's so important for empaths and sensitive people, but sorry, I keep banging the microphone, to have their meditation time. I mean, all of the regular reasons that we know about, making contact with spirit, having a relationship with spirit, being able to crystallize your aura, which I'll talk about and explain that in a moment. It's really important in order to make these changes into the high frequency empath and sensitive person. But also because when you are highly sensitive or highly empathic and the tool's been working the wrong way, then you don't know what your own energy feels like. You're constantly pulling in other energies. So you don't know what you feel like. You know, I used to take the Myers-Briggs test, you know, that personality type test. It's based in Jungian psychology. I would take that test. I could take it 10 times in a row and get different outcomes because I had no idea what I felt. I had no idea what was me. I'm like, all these things sound great. Sure. I don't know. Because I didn't have a native land. I didn't know what it felt like. I mean, I had a native land. I just didn't know what it felt like. And I didn't know how to have energetic hygiene or have energetic boundaries. Meditation, going in and dwelling within your own energy, reacquaints you to it so that you know what it is. And then that's how you can keep it clear and clean and pure. And that energy within is the energy of source. God gave you God energy. And so that is, to go within is to connect to spirit, or also AKA your own soul energy. So empaths need to meditate regularly because they don't know what they are, who they are. They don't know what they feel like. Same for the sensitive, for the highly sensitive person, because you're constantly responding and you need to discharge and detox and be in that purity and be able to keep your cup full so that it can overflow. And then your response to the situations, to the energies that you're constantly sensitized to, can then be, you can offer healing. You have to be filled up with healing in order to be a healer. You have to be identified to healedness, wholeness, holiness, holistic holiness. That's the word that I'm using here. In order to be able to be the beacon and the conductor, the transmuter, the transformer of the healing energies. So I said crystallize the aura. This is a process that we are in as we are doing our consciousness work, our meditation, and the different energy modalities that we do, our deep trance meditations, our own personal energy healing, inner child, all of the things, inner child work. I cut myself off. Inner child work, for example, or if you're working with a practitioner. And it's by whatever means that you're actually bringing in pure light into your aura, into your field, then all of those applications, the light begins to crystallize inside your aura so that it's becomes stronger and stronger and more identified and impervious to anything that is contrary to the light, more identified to the light, impervious to anything contrary to the light. This crystallization of the aura is the evolving so that it becomes easier as an empath to have the function of the empath tool be working the right way, so that you're in a situation where there is a lot of pain and you can be the light. You can feel and have deep empathy and compassion and sympathy, and yet you are not taken down by it. You are the strength. You are the beacon. And that's what the empath and the sensitive is meant to be. That's what the purpose is of it. I will say once again, the reason you came in with these strong sensitivities and maintained them throughout this life, the reason that you came in as an expert feeler is so that you could feel and be sensitive to the highest vibrational frequency: love, light, healing, wholeness, holiness. Given that, there's no need for any protection because you are one. You're one with the all. And if there's only one energy, which is whole, then there is nothing to defend against. And that's what the empath came to anchor. And that's what the sensitive came to shine and vibrate. That's what it means to be a high frequency empath or sensitive. All right. With that, I'm going to start looking at the comments again. And we're going to be up here for about another, I'm going to be up until about 3:30 Pacific. So we have some time to do some readings. I have some cards here. And if you are here and you want a reading, so let me just tell you that I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to just see what I'm drawn to, and I can put it up on the screen even. And ideally, if you want to give a little detail to your request, because if you ask a very general reading, very general question, you'll get a very general reading. But try not to write too much either, because that will define your information that will come through and not leave as much room open. But on the other hand, I can't actually see all of it. It limits how much text I can see. So it might be, I would like some career advice, if it should take career A or B, for example, or, relationship or something along those lines. So let's get to it. Let me just start to scroll here. Any readings? My husband's coming through right now. Say hi to the internet, honey. Hi, Internet. I don't know if you heard him. He said, hi, Internet. Wave at him. It's YouTube and the Lightworkers Lab. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He got all scared. He thought it was maybe the intuitive intensive. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay. All right. Any requests? Oh, here we go. Let's see. I was just drawn to this one. Oh, it's going away. Let's go. I don't know your name because it's, just a reminder, if you click in the description, you'll see how you can actually qualify with StreamYard. Just give them permission to give me your name. So I don't know your name, but it says, I'd love a reading. Please ask Spirit what my financial future looks like. Any abundance coming. All right. So I can look at timelines, but timelines are fluid. Timelines, there is no such thing as predestination. There are plans, there are blueprints, but we create in this moment what the next moment will be. And so having said that, I'm being drawn to my sacred geometry cards. And as I'm feeling into your energy in this question, I'll also shuffle and see if a card comes up. Okay, so the first thing I'm drawn to is your heart. And I'm told that there is a lot of, it's heart and solar plexus. So I'm drawn to there being some grief in your heart, which is creating, I don't usually use this word, but they're telling it to me really loudly, a block in the solar plexus. So we're talking about the chakras here, and just so we can be clear on it, the solar plexus is, okay, there's a card that's jumping out. The solar plexus is the inner CEO. It's right here. And there's actually literally a block. So it has to do with self-esteem. It has to do with being able to move forward. Okay, so they're actually telling me that what we have here is, it feels like you have a lot of ideas and creativity, but it just feels like, it doesn't move forward. And the key, and the reason they're talking about this is because the key to the financial abundance and everything for you is to be doing, I would guess probably, if you know human design, that you are a generator, because generators need to be doing things that they love in order to be able to achieve what is their signature, which is satisfaction. And so there is, this is also coming from an imbalance in the root chakra. There's one part of the root chakra that actually feels like it's weighed down. And so I think there's like this ebb and flow. There's like a kind of energy going on. And maybe every now and again, you feel pretty good about what you're doing and security and all of that, but then it hits a real low part and it feels cyclical. Now, I don't know how wide these cycles are for you, and maybe they're not always the same. But there's a cycling here. And by the way, if you want to give me feedback and here in a moment, again, I don't have your name, but maybe I'll recognize it. So, okay, anyway, that's where we are with the energy. And the first thing I'm going to do right now is just send some clarity here. And what I'm sending to your solar plexus, because I'm sending just pure light. If you want to open your, have the intention to open up to it. And it's coming through really, really strong, honestly, very powerfully. It feels warm, going right into the solar plexus there and just illuminating it. And so they say that you are whole. They want to say you are brilliant. And that what you have to give and how you want to live is the alignment that we all need. You have permission. And this is what they say. You have permission. And we would like you to give yourself permission, even if it's little by little, to begin to pursue the things that you love, because these things that you love are the keys to abundance. The way that you love these things, those are the keys to what is going to bring you the most satisfaction. So you wanted to know when. So let's see if we have a timeline. That's okay. So there's something about like 4 to 6 months where we have a little bit of a improvement. And that's just because of how it's the flow, it's the cycle. But for a long-term sustained improvement, we want to work on coming back home to the self, loving the self, and giving oneself permission to gradually, little by little, move in the direction of the things that you love. And they say you have a lot of skills and you have a lot of knowledge, and you maybe you think like, but how? It's like you have hidden tools, because you have a lot of things that you're smart and you're good at, but you don't realize that these things will bring you abundance because you think people don't make money that way, maybe, or something like that. But people make money a lot of different ways. I have the weirdest job in the world. So just to start to be open to it, and I'm going to quote Bashar, who's channeled by Daralenka, pursue your highest excitement to the greatest ability you have at the time without any expectation of the outcome. So again, the timeline that we have, in 4 to 6 months, we have improvement. In the meantime, you're actually okay. And so what we want to do is use this time to feel okay and to trust and to rebuild the trust, the love, support, and to be able to clear out that solar plexus. All right. So, you can't make this up. Empowerment. That is such a solar plexus word. So that's what your card is, empowerment. We want to build that empowerment. And the message is the frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in deep trust. Wasn't the word trust just showing up? We will all, deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. And so the number is, and that's an activation. So the number is 26. 6 is domesticity. 2 is love. Together they are 8. 8 is the money number, yo. So this is good. This is good, hopeful, and it's a beautiful journey. Please affirm to yourself that each moment that you're bringing that light into the solar plexus, into the identity, and loving the self more is a step on the path of light, which is a beautiful, wonderful journey. Actually, I don't think I need these. I have these earbuds in. I don't need them. Ha. All right. I hope that was helpful. Oh, and now how do I get rid of it? I don't know how to get rid of the other comments yet. Let's see. Okay, I have one here. And again, I don't know your name. And it says, any guidance from spirit regarding next steps in my transition away from my present employment to spiritual work will be gratefully received. Okay. All right. I sound like what's the card here? I mean, what do I have some card? Oh, okay, we're going to do the dragon deck for you. Any guidance from spirit? Okay, so the first thing they're drawing me to is actually to look at your numerology, because your personal year and seeing what your personal year is will help you to feel a little bit clearer about the timing of things and what to be focusing on in your energy. It's cycles, maybe the theme for this particular broadcast, because there were cycles in that last reading. But what we're talking about here, so like right now, I'm in a 7-year, and it's all about, introspection, spiritual awakening. And whew, I tell you, it was January 1st, and I was like, there was channeling going on in my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're just kicking down the 7-year like gangbusters, huh? My 5-year, my career, like what you're talking about here, transitioning from the old muggle career. Wasn't that muggly, but yeah, it was kind of muggly. It went away suddenly, and then my new, was 100% full. And that was my 5-year, which is all about change. So this will help you to feel focused and give you, because it feels right now like your stimulation, your sensitivity is just like, oh, I don't know. There's a lot of things I can do. And I'm not sure which, because you have so many talents and you learned so much. So that's going to help. And it looks like that's your card. So I'll hold that for a sec. So that's one way to do it. Okay. But then you want to know next step. That's okay. So your next step. So look at your personal year, because that's going to help you of the theme of next steps. Can you show me? Okay. So they show me first some books. And so what is this? Okay. Oh, no. Okay. I was going to ask it. This isn't more education. It's actually beginning to study with masters, meaning in your practice. So I don't know if, again, because I don't know what your name is, I feel like maybe you were in the channeling intensive, or you do know that you channel. And so to sit down, this will make you help you with steps, as well as with the last reading we said, pursue your highest excitement to your best ability at the time, without any insistence on the details of the outcome. So they say you can eat, even if you only do this 3 days per week, approximately, sit down at the beginning of the day and sit and meditate for a little bit, and then just channel what the steps are that day. Ask for a structure of 3 things, and whether it's that day or over a month or something like that, and ask for those steps. But it does feel like there's some foundation to continue to build so that things are automated, because right now it feels like there's so many pieces that haven't been done. So go sequentially with some of the foundational things. So if we're talking about doing one-on-one work, then we need things like to get some social media to put it out there, do things like this. And maybe you are doing that. And then we also need our scheduling system and a website, and those can be very simple. Excuse me. And then keep following through. But you have teaching abilities, and you have the healing, so just continue to it feels like you think time is getting away from you. You're exhausted all the time. So sit down and focus on, and if it's the weekend because you have a 9 to 5 or Monday through Friday, then, just do it on the days off. And then maybe other times, like one other day during the week when, you kind of, even if you take 5 minutes to do it. And it feels like really aligned with your cycles, your personal year, that things will show up in that way. So I would love to see if you could tell me what your personal year is, because I feel like you might be around like the 5, 6, 7. I'm just taking a stab. So the way you know what your personal year is, it's your birthday plus the current year. So my birthday is March 17, 3/17. So it's 8 plus 3 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus the current year. And this is 2021. So that's 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. That's my personal year. Okay, well, anyway, so your card is Deep Blue Dragon. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. Trust that you are protected. Walk on a path of light, which we just said path of light in the last reading. Walk on a path of light. So you have a path. This is what I see from this. And look at the purple and indigo in the blue dragon, indigo. So I want you to be channeling. They want you to be channeling those steps and connecting and having the trust and faith, and then moving and taking physical action on that, and continuing to be, and knowing that each footfall on the path of light is just as valuable, is just as important. And so you are in your spiritual, how did you call it? Spiritual work. Yes. All right. I hope that's helpful. I don't know how to dismiss the comments. Let's see, 303. Okay, good. All right, I have Facebook user would love a reading of how to be an effective leader. I feel I overthink how my actions are perceived by others and anticipate people feeling intimidated or pressured or competitive. Okay, what's a deck I can pull from? Feels like we're going to go with the geometry activations. And so we got sacral stuff going on here. I know if you read that, you're thinking like, oh, that's a solar plexus. That's what someone might assume, and sure. But we've got sacral. We've got a lot of feels kind of generating. The sacral is the seat of the emotions, and when the sacral is overactive and doesn't have sort of, oh, okay, this card's jumping out, so that's for you, and doesn't have a partner to help it to organize all those feels, then we'll feel that way. We'll overthink and blah, 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 blah. So the sacral partners with the third eye. Third eye is visionary. Third eye can see the patterns. It's a pattern recognition. And so some work to align and balance, but go in there and talk to the sacral and just ask sacral, how can I support you? Because it feels like sacral really wants some soothing, some comfort, some nurturing. I feel like I want to bring up Mother Earth energy so that there is a grounding, a tethering. And I also want to draw down the light and connect sacral to third eye. So I'd say as you're feeling that, take a deep breath and draw up Mother Earth and bring all of that energy up to third eye and hold the energy here. Because the higher chakras, the higher energy centers can heal the lower ones. And here in our visionary center in the third eye, here's where the choices will manifest, but we have to trust them. We have to trust the ones that are lighting up for us. And it doesn't mean that they have to be visualized. It could be a knowing. It could still be emotional feeling, clairsentience. But what we want to do is let those steps show up and then have confidence that you are not alone in this because Spirit is working with you. And then we also want to affirm, and then we want to drop down into the heart, affirm that the reason that you feel into the heart after we do that practice, get into the heart, and affirmations like, how may I be a blessing? Whereas that's actually a question, but you're affirming it. It's a magnetizing kind of affirmation. How may I be a blessing? And meditating on how you are making these plans and you're being the leader in order to be a blessing. It is authority is about being the author. The authority or the leader is the least of these. I have a friend who, when I worked in bars and restaurants, and he said to me, had nothing to do with that industry, he's like, I always thought it'd be really cool to own a bar, because, you'd just be like, you'd be so like, everyone would think you were so cool. You just come in and have free drinks and everyone just think you were amazing. And I was like, well, let me tell you something about being a bar owner. The bar owner is also the toilet scrubber. And you know what the bar owner doesn't do if they want to be prosperous? They don't come in and drink their own liquor and contribute to the red in their bottom line. They are the least of these. They are the leader of the company. The authority and the team is the one who is doing the most support. And so it feels like we want to own our leadership and realize that it's actually a service position. And then if we do the sacral up to the third eye and then drop down into the heart and really activate that you are putting forth the plans and all of the different leadership because it is in the highest interest for all of you. And then that natural compassion will just show up. So you'll be a compassionate leader. And that may be another affirmation for you. I am a compassionate leader. Ooh. So after we worked on all of those, I said, sure, it's the solar plexus, but it's really stated in the root. So then Spirit wants to cap it off with the solar plexus because you will connecting the heart to the solar plexus. This is your compassionate leader. I'm pointing to solar plexus, compassionate leader. After we do the sacral up to the third eye, drop into the heart, compassionate leader. And so it says frequency of solar plexus, and that's the 3. So that's the expression number. And it's also the joy frequency, the number 3. The frequency of solar plexus, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution to the whole is. Can't make this up. By the way, I will say that these readings, we have the intention that whoever is picked, the messages, the energy will fall upon many of us. And so, as we are going through, have your heart and your mind open that whoever is picked is also being the example to channel some messages for you. Resonates so much. Okay, good. Here I got Julie Bassett. Pardon me while I take a sip. But I'm going to say hello first to Jennifer because Jennifer says first time listening to me. Okay, hang on, Jennifer. I got Julie up and then we'll move on. Okay, let's see. Julie, I would love any guidance on what I still need to heal to jumpstart my spiritual business so it becomes profitable and possible timeline as to when that might happen. Okay, I'm feeling the activation cards again. All right. So, Julie, the first part is heal, and the second part is timeline about spiritual business. All right. What is Julie? Okay. Well, I keep asking, am I hearing this right? And they're saying, we really want to give you pardon from worrying, or not that you're worrying, but you know what I mean. Like, you don't even have to focus on healing because you are in a place where you have that crystallization of the aura. Now you may be saying like, well, then why isn't it happening? And I get it, but they want to take you out of they want you to reframe. That's what it is. They want you to reframe where you are. Because if we're thinking, oh gosh, I have to heal something, when you're actually in a place of like almost a plateau of being whole, and it's really about taking action. And then it's about out picturing that. So what else? Is there anything else? Okay. So they say that we want you to just move from your healedness, from your wholeness. We want you to flow from it. We want you to, if there's anything to heal, it's reframing the idea that you need to heal. And so it's a heart thing. That's why I'm getting the repeating there. And to really bless and love yourself. Cultivating affection for yourself, because I know you've really, I know because I can feel it now. I know how much you've worked on the self-love. And so you see, now we want to demonstrate it to the self. So affection to the self, and really being impressed by yourself the way that you would be with your best friend or your child or your partner, someone that you really, really love and you have great affection for, and you just want to encourage them. They want you to direct that to the self, and maybe have some self dates and some self romance, which every time I say that, I know people think that I must be talking about masturbation, which I'm not, but that's, hey, that could be a part of your self romance, but I'm really talking about more the general outlook, the way that the general demeanor and the way that we are loving and relating to the self. That. So that's where we are with the healing, is really moving forward with it and letting the frequency, the self-love frequency activate. And then there's let's see. So then about possible timeline. Okay. So there's something about like the second half of this year where there's more of a momentum and a greater pacing. And so that's what we need now. Right now, it's like fits and starts. It's like stop and starting. And so just continue to go as you are. And it just starts to become more mechanized, more automated. And then just continue to do all of the things. I think you do have the fundamental set up, and and I know that you're like going live and stuff like that, so that you're doing service and people can get an idea of who you are. But there's also, I think maybe, thank you. So they say the second part of the year too, because it feels like after we kind of get past the hump and we can open up again, meaning the hump of the pandemic and quarantining, we're going to have all of the things where it's going to be safer to do that. That local and community feels like a nice way for you to also draw, because I met you in person at the Bliss Retreat, right? I forget everyone who's been there. But there's something about your personal energy too that really is a safe haven for people. So there's networking and there's communing to do locally as well. But the online is also going to be synergized by some of that, but it's all of it, but the continuation of it will eventually, you'll get a pace and a steadiness. And then, no, did I just say synergy or what? Oh, shit, I did. I'm so sorry. I said shit. I said that there will be synergy, right? Or did I just hear it in my head? Whatever. Okay. I don't know. You will have to rewind. Okay. So synergy. There will be synergy. And this, again, after we get the pace and momentum going, then there will be synergy happening. And it feels like that timeline is the second half of the year. So like summertime going forward, approximately. So this is a beautiful activation too. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. This synergy also has to do with the first part, where, reframing the healing it's essentially synergizing it and then stoking it by letting a flow energy of the self-love, a more activated energy of the self-love. That's amazing. Jeremy Stangness, I see you. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, Julie. Okay, I'm going to scramble and see. I can see you. Patty says, can you see my name? I see you. Yeah, it's working. I think if you do it once, it should continue to work every time. Okay, I have some details about white butterflies I always see around me. Is that a specific message from my guides? So yes, the white butterflies are activations, basically. And you're invited to lean into them. But what it feels to me is it's activating mediumship. It feels like mediumship is available to you. And if you're already practicing mediumship, I feel like maybe you're not, but that is a resource for you, a tool. Feels like if you dig into mediumistic abilities, it will open up a lot more, but it's a focus for you right now is to be connected in mediumistically, but it's a general activation as well. Purity, clarity, Christ consciousness, excuse me, transformation. And white butterflies are usually moths. And so a moth to a flame. And so all of these metaphors around what the spirit animal actually represents. So yeah, that's what I got for you. Let's see. What did Kate say? I thought that was Kate. Wait, no, here we go. It's Kate. Appreciate the learning about empaths. Yeah, empaths crystallizing the aura. Good. You're welcome. Here's something that looks interesting. What are the small blue flames? I see them a lot. Okay, well, you are, what I'm picking, I'm going to pull a dragon card for you because it feels like it's also an activation, third eye activation. It has to do with, so the blue flame is the part of the flame that is not as exposed to oxygen, and that's why it's blue. When flame is exposed to oxygen, it turns the orange, yellow, and red colors. So right here, it's like the nexus. It's really potent energy. And that blue flame and blue ray is related to the third eye. So it is an opening of the third eye. They actually just said to me that you're creating it. They want to point out to you that you are a co-creator and that you are actually manifesting them. So the card is like just jumping out. But I pulled the dragon deck because working with dragons, and but this would be like a 7th dimensional dragon that you can call in and work with, but there's an invitation to work with some higher frequency dragons. Oh, this is gold and silver violet flame dragon, by the way. They don't all say flame dragon. And gold and silver violet flame dragon transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transformation, magic, and healing. Offer service under grace. How awesome is that? Awesome. Okay, let me have a little bit more time, a few more minutes. Pardon me while I move these headphones. I got a con here. Oh, he's coughing. You okay, babe? Yeah, he's okay. All right, let's see. Let's do a little scramble and see where I'm drawn here. Would love a reading around how to be oh, I already got that one. So that's so funny. Here's another one. Messages from my spirit guides that stand out. I'm hoping for some amazing additions in my life. Wow, amazing additions, like babies or something, or puppies or kitties. All right, let me just, so you specifically want to see if your guides, okay, so they want to pull a card from my Atlantis deck. So do you work with crystals already? Because I see crystal energy around you. And those recording crystals, which is actually a card in this deck. So if we pull that, then we're going to be like, oh man. But anyway, recording crystals and the crystalline grid. And what are some other things? Channeling, automatic writing. Okay, so the specific things that you want to call in, it seems like you are more of a specific manifester, meaning you do well to like write or do vision boards or something like that and think of and feel of the details of what it is that you are manifesting. Is this the card? Okay. And then charge it up with the feelings and then crystallize the image, crystallize the hologram of the image of the manifestation and crystallize it and have it be like a symbol and maybe even dedicate a crystal to it. Like here's a solar plexus. I mean, excuse me, this is a solar plexus crystal, but pyrite or whatever it is, make a grid around it, a crystal grid around it. And then take that holographic image that you have generated in your imaginal plane and take it and put it right there in that crystal grid and just let it vibrate there. Let it vibrate there and celebrate it. And as you're doing that, you just have this hologram. You're releasing all of the details, and it's this or something better. What else is possible? And you are very powerful as a manifestor this way. So this is this is a practice. This is a kind of a tool or a ritual, if you will, that they are asking you to do because the additions that you want in your life, there's a lot. And then sometimes we get busy with the day, but we want to have the frequency of those. And it's like your guides and like devas, meaning like nature elementals, they're just standing there and they're like, yeah, just flip the switch, because we want you to have this stuff too, because it's an empowerment to who you are as a healer, a helper, a manifester. You know what I mean? Like, it's a help to bring those through into your life. The thread of the tapestry of your life that goes into the tapestry of the all is really, really wanted. But we want to turn the key. Like, you need to turn the key. So I hope that practice makes, unicorns. Well, I just said devas, right? So your card is unicorns. Look at that. Oh, the unicorns. The number is 22. Really, that's the builder number. Master builder. In Golden Age of Atlantis, unicorns helped maintain purity and divine innocence. Seventh dimensional, pure white ascended horses radiated light that looked like a spiraling horn from their third eye. They could direct a beam of pure energy into people. So this is kind of like that practice we were just describing. They are returning now to help our planet to ascend as they touch us with dignity, love, beauty, grace, and healing, and reconnect us with our soul essence. Purity. If you draw this card, the unicorns wish to connect with you. Find time to be quiet, preferably out in nature. Think about them and allow them to touch you with the qualities of dignity, love, beauty, and grace. Dignity, love, beauty, and grace. That's for all of us. They may offer you healing or reconnect you to your soul essence. Remain open to a message from them today. And finally, it says, be prepared for unicorn energy to touch you. I'm ready. Are y'all ready? I'm ready for unicorn. Ooh, I got chills. The guy that I have sitting on my lap, Con, my kitty, that I keep referencing, he's like a unicorn. He's very unicorny. All right, scramble. I think I have time for one more. Here we go. Facebook user. Sorry, I don't see your name. And once again, the reason I don't see your name is if you qualify, if you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, then it will give permission for StreamYard to show me your name. My gifts have been expanding like crazy. Awesome. And I'm thinking of developing my own healing show separate from the music. Oh, it must be Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Separate from the musical. It would be a group reading plus a musical healing with some education on ascension and timelines and the dead. Any advice? Do it. Okay. So the advice actually that came through is, do it. But the advice is, because you're a 5, Michelle. I know you're a life path 5 like me. And it's really to just move forward and do it. So set the date, create Canva, little graphics, promote it, do some stories on Instagram, talk about it, and then do it, and have a loose structure and show up and be very improvisational, AKA channeling, but have a loose structure where it's like, you already do have a loose structure there. You're like, there's going to be reading, musical healing, education, ascension, you know what I mean? Have that and just be, you know how I do my Mystic Arts Academy classes, right? I have so a little bit like that. I mean, I always tell you guys that I'm even held from the structure because it's experimental. And so this being more experimental, very much in channeling energy, and you already have a structure right there. But set the date and move forward and go for it. And you can do it on Zoom, and you can then take parts of it. Actually, they're saying, I think you do have a YouTube channel, right? But you can take parts of it where maybe it's just your video, whatever you're doing, and then you can cut it and you can put it on YouTube later. And then if you want to get some permission from some people that you can actually use some of their own likeness, but we want to get their permission. But I don't usually do that very much because it's a lot of work to get other people's permission to use their likeness. But anyway, yeah, that sounds really and super fun. And it's something whereas the musical is a much longer term project, this is something that you can boom, 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 you can just do it. And it brings in a lot of healing and a lot of help and a lot of alignment for others. And it's a stoking of energy. And also because you're life path 5, keeping it more channeling, it will be fun for you every time. It will be just change. It'll keep changing. It'll be different. And that's what, life path 5s love. Okay. Let's see. I think I do have time for another one. Let me just scrambles. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, I didn't even know I had that turned on. Andronica Face Off. Who knew? Gave me a little thank you so much. Gave me a donation. That's fine. I seriously didn't even realize I had that feature turned on Facebook. That's so sweet, though. I appreciate it. Here's Kate says, I met a dragon in meditation. Can you tell me more about him? Well, first of all, he says it's for you to talk to him. And I'm getting my own dragon telling me, my earth dragon. So my earth dragon is talking to me about this. He says it's the discovery for you to have. Is he like you? Okay, so he shows up in the same, I think, a similar part of your field as mine shows up. This dragon of mine, which is kind of like forward and to the right. He is this dragon, my earth dragon, my dragon that I'm talking about is earth. He's the element of earth, and that relates to my moon sign. And so that might be, this is some areas to explore. Ask him what his element is. And our dragons can be composed of 1, 2, or 3 of the elements, not all 4. That's the thing about the devas and the nature spirits and fairies and everything. They're not composed of all 4 physical elements, but they're composed of 1, 2, or 3 of them. And so they may be like this guy, he's all earth. And, but I have one of my other dragons, and she's water with some air, but dominant in the water energy. So ask him his name. You guys will choose a name together, and he may be related to either your moon sign, or he may be related to your sun or your ascendant, like one of those top 3 positions. But don't make any assumptions. Just be open, clear your mind, ask him what his element is. It feels like he is one of your elemental dragons. Of course, we have dragons who are higher frequency, and they could be Pleiadian, or they could be source dragons, or you know what I mean? Like they can be in much more ascended densities. But this guy feels like he's one of your primary ones who is elemental. And so what else does he? So he's been with you. So yeah, he's one of your primary ones because he's been with you your whole life. He actually stands. Well, it says he stands in as the front face of a fleet, of his fleet, even. But he is the interface that you work with and for guidance, and also, but he says for conversation and for what's the word? I'm talking to my guy now. Comfort. That's the word we're looking for. So even though he feels very powerful and strong, but to him, he shows you all of this tenderness and nurturing, and he's very intelligent too. He's going to talk to you and communicate with you in intelligence. Now, it will feel very possibly like your own thought, your own stream of consciousness, because it's not meant to detract from you. It's meant to augment and make you more you. And that was Kate. Okay, well, that is about my time, you guys. I'll just every reading has resonated. That's good, Nicole. There you go. That's you. Oh, wait. Someone says something about quantum healing hypnosis. Yeah, there. Let me put that up here. Quantum healing hypnosis. There are practitioners everywhere. Google the website and find a practitioner close to you. Some online sessions if you are still working on your own abilities. This is so there's someone that I recommend. I'm sure he does online. I saw him in person. He's based in LA. His name is Jeroen DeWitt. And he's been on my show twice. So you can, and then his name is spelled Jeroen, and the last name is 2 words, Dewit. So you can find him on my YouTube channel. I could go grab the links, but it'd be a little bit hard for me to do that right now. Then you can also find him on Instagram, and his Instagram handle, I remember it is Jeroen is Love. So Jeroen is Love. Go check him out. He's so amazing. So there's a QHHT practitioner that I would recommend. Okay, then, you guys, thank you so much. I had so much fun. Look for me doing this probably weekly, maybe every other week. I'm not sure, but we will do the Tuesday at 2:30 Pacific. I had so much fun with you guys, and I love you. I love you, whoever you are. And I'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.